Hello, Dave Dahlem here with King's Paddle Sports. We're looking at an AC 14-foot race board. This board is constructed using vacuum bag carbon fiber. And as we examine this board, I'll point out some of the features and how they benefit you as you paddle this board. You'll notice first off that we have a sunken cockpit. And that sunken cockpit does a number of things for us. It gives you a nice, comfortable place to stand that provides the lowest center of balance. It gets your center of gravity down as low as possible. Second, we have a ridge running around the edge. That creates a structural member, adding stiffness to the overall board design. And third, it gives you a place for your feet to register. A lot of boards will do this in different ways. They'll run a ridge down the center. They may have a domed deck or have no ridge at all, in which case the board flexes quite a bit. Another feature of this board is it has a nice bow. It's a downturned bow that both cuts and pierces the water as it moves through the waves and the chop or the smooth water. And it's the ideal bow for all different conditions. And we quite often receive compliments from customers about how they'll push through chop and the nose will start to dip down and they'll think it's going to purl, and lo and behold, it'll pop right out. That's owed partially to the additional volume in the front portion of the deck. It's got good buoyancy in the front. As we move back, you'll notice that it has a V'd deck in the front of the board here. That gives good watershed. The water slides right down that surface, and there's no curve to it. If it were curved, this would be shaped similar to an airplane wing, and that would allow the wind to blow the bow around and take the board off course. Also, this ridge line adds to the overall structural strength of the board. The way we construct these boards, we vacuum bag the carbon fiber over the foam core, and in doing so, that consolidates the foam, the fabric, and the resin into one homogeneous structure, and it greatly increases the physical properties of the materials that are used in the construction of this board. As we examine the outline of this board, you'll notice that it has the wide point forward of center. A lot of boards out there, they'll place the wide point behind center, which violates just about every principle of physics in terms of how objects move through air or through water. The most aerodynamic shape in nature is a raindrop. As it falls through the sky, it has a nice round tip with a pointed tail on it. When we keep the wide point ahead of center, we're achieving the fastest overall design. Now, as we widen the board and the tail, we move away from that pure teardrop shape, and it adds stability to the board. So on one hand, we're looking for instability and speed and glide, and on the other hand, we're adding back stability so we can stand on these silly things. As we look at the bottom here, I'll turn on a little bit of shading for us, and I'll describe the shape of the bottom. In the front of the board, as you can see in the reflection, we've got a little bit of a ridge line that runs back. That gives it a bit of keel effect on the nose, keeping the board tracking straight. Then the bottom breaks into a slight roll, a little bit of roll back all the way through, including the center where you stand, but it becomes gradually less until it reaches its lowest point of curvature right next to where you stand. Then we move towards the tail, and the board actually has a little bit of V, a very gentle V running all the way through the back of the board. You'll notice that we have a nice thick tail on this. A lot of people will ask me, why do you put a thick tail versus a thin tail? And the simple answer is, even though we have more up in the wind for the wind to blow on, the thicker tail allows us to walk back without the tail sinking too much. We can get to a point where the tail will sink too much and it'll bog the board down, and that is really critical in buoy turns where we want to maintain our speed while going around the buoys. And with today's technical races, that becomes more and more important. So these boards have been a big hit. We've made thousands of these. I can't even begin to tell you all the different places we've shipped these, all through the Middle East, through Tel Aviv, France, Germany, Spain. We've shipped these boards all throughout the U.S., Great Lakes, East Coast, West Coast, all the way up into Canada. They're very popular. You can expect your 14-foot King's Raceboard to weigh between 15 and 22 pounds. And that's owed largely to the lightweight vacuum bag construction methods. We thank you for watching this video. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to call us here at King's Paddle Sports. Thank you for watching.